Welcome to Radio on Fire, home of the Diamond K Show.
Diamond K in the house.
And now for your urban news and entertainment report. Here's your host, Diamond K.
Oh my goodness.
It's the Diamond K Show.
Tragedy is happening so often by way of mass shooting that I fear many people in America are desensitized to this. Yesterday, a 17-year-old killed a sixth grader and wounded 5 in an Iowa school shooting. Just sad news. This teenager opened fired at a small town Iowa high school on the first day back from the winter break. First day back, killing a sixth grader, wounding 5 others as students barricaded in offices fled in panic. This is what we start 2024 off with. The suspect, a student at this school in Perry, died of what investigators believe to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound. So at least one of the school victims is a school administrator. Law enforcement revealed the official was not authorized to publicly discuss details of the investigation. So more to come on that. Perry is a small town, as I said, about 8,000 residents, and is about 40 miles northwest of Des Moines. So on the edge of the state capital's metropolitan area. It is the home to large pork processing plant, low slung, single-story homes spread among trees. Just a small town, a small place. The high school and the middle school are connected, sitting on the east edge of town. Just sad. Vigils were planned for yesterday evening, and more to come for today. It is definitely sad news. In D.C., U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland was briefed on the shooting. FBI agents from the Des Moines office assisted with the investigation and are continuing. Mass shootings across the U.S. Have long since brought about calls for stricter gun laws. Gun safety advocates are supposedly going to continue this fight, but I don't see anything changing about this. Within hours, not surprisingly, these advocates started pushing for these stricter gun laws. But as many of you know, that idea is a non-starter for Republicans, especially in a rural area like this, a rural state like Iowa, a GOP state. It's not going to happen. As of July 2021, Iowa does not require a permit to purchase a handgun or carry a firearm in public. Let me say that again. As of 2021, summer of 2021, Iowa does not require a permit to purchase a handgun or carry a firearm in public, though it does mandate a background check for a person buying a handgun without a permit. So this is the culture of many of these places, and I don't see places like this changing. I don't see places like this changing. It does not matter how many they have lost. They're just not interested in this kind of change. They believe that it is something that they should do, something that they should hold on to this gun culture. But I don't want to sound like a cliche, but thoughts and prayers, obviously, to those affected. This is just a sad time for something like this. Top of the year, 2024, and first day back to school. The kids faced with something like this. Just a sad state of affairs. Of course, you can follow us on YouTube.com/DJ Diamond K. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode of our live broadcast and our shows. Baltimore County sees a decline in homicides and non-fatal shootings in 2023. Of course, we talked about this, and we're going to continue to talk about this. The Baltimore County recorded 29 homicides in 2023, which was down nearly 15% from the year prior and down 47% compared to 2021. They are seeing progress. The county had more than 14% decrease in non-fatal shootings. So that is good news. The county's homicide rate per capita in 2023 was 3.42% per 100,000 residents. The Baltimore County Police Department also cleared 69% of homicide cases to date, far exceeding the national clearance rates, which averaged approximately 50% as of 2020. So prioritizing safety and the well-being of the residents is something that is front of mind for Baltimore County. So we talked about this earlier in the week, the reduction in crime and the downward trajectory of these numbers. A lot of people find it hard to believe, but numbers are going in the right direction. They're not nearly where they should be, but they are going in the right direction. But still a lot of work to do. And in Baltimore City, Mayor Brandon Scott was excited about the city's crime reduction plan. He was surrounded by law enforcement, elected leaders, and other administration members. The mayor held a news conference earlier this week at City Hall. He wanted to talk about public safety in Baltimore City and the work that was ahead for 2024. Now, the year 2023 marked the first time since 2014 that Baltimore had under 300 homicides. Now, I don't work for Mayor Scott's campaign. I'm not advising Mayor Scott's campaign. He could hire me, though. But regardless, this is something that he can hang his hat on. There was more than a 20% drop in homicides, and he feels that we're finally seeing the efforts of his community-based solutions working. This is something that he can really pin his reelection campaign on. This is meaningful progress. The disease of gun violence continues to plague Baltimore City and other areas. So, while he cannot just rest on his laurels, he can say that this is a move in the right direction. Illegal guns have been a concern in Baltimore and throughout the country. Baltimore Police Commissioner Richard Worley said that they seized almost 3,000 guns off the street last year, and also believed that the department's redistricting plan has helped his officers. So as I said, this is just the beginning. This is a step in the right direction, and I hope that Baltimore and other cities continue to trend in the right way with regards to gun violence and homicides and such. So heading into the weekend, it is temperatures have been, cool lately. There is snow forecast for midday Saturday. Snow changes to rain in the afternoon. Mostly rain for the Ravens game. It's a chilly rain Saturday night with gusty winds, clearing skies on Saturday. So the system looks like it's going to be mostly a mix of rain and light snow, which could lead to slushy conditions on the roads. So the precipitation will start out as a wintry mix in Baltimore with more snow in the northern suburbs. So the heavier amount of snow, rain, and wind will occur Saturday afternoon and will end before Sunday morning. Now, without an Arctic air mass in place before arrival, Saturday's storm will likely feature snow changing to rain for most of central Maryland and lots of rain south and east of I-95, particularly on the eastern shore. So we have a big game coming up on Saturday, right around this time, against the Steelers. Trace to an inch of snow forecast for Baltimore City, 1 to 3 inches in the northwest suburbs, Cockeysville, Westminster. We should be able to get through this. We've been through much worse snow than what they are anticipating for Saturday. But I'm glad that Lamar Jackson, quarterback for the Ravens, is being rested. The last thing we need is for him to slip and fall in this wintry mix and get injured. That is the last thing that we need to happen. Speaking of the Baltimore Ravens, they signed former Jets and a Viking running back Dalvin Cook. This is a great move, adding some late season depth to our offense as we're heading into this postseason. Team signed this former Jets and former Minnesota Vikings running back. Great move. Cook was released by the Jets the day before, after less than a full season with the team that he joined during free agency. So what does this mean for Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens? It is another move in the right direction. Prior to 2023, Cook spent 6 seasons with the Vikings. He was drafted in 2017 out of Florida State University. And, of course, we know Lamar Jackson is from Florida. That's another good thing. Cook will join Gus Edwards, Justice Hill, Melvin Gordon out of the Ravens' backfield. This depth should prove valuable to the team after we lost Keaton Mitchell to this season-ending injury. So we needed somebody else to help the team go forward. And this is a great addition to the team. I'm very excited about this. Baltimore Ravens favored pretty high in the playoffs. We need to do our thing on Saturday against the Steelers. And I'm very excited about that. So let me know your thoughts, of course, in the comment section, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, at The Diamond K Show. Of course, anywhere you get your podcast, just search The Diamond K Show. DJ Diamond K at gmail.com. You need to get in touch with me. And don't forget, the best way to support what we do here at Radio on Fire is to become a member. This gives you access to the daily bonus show from yours truly, Diamond K, the regular show with no commercials. You also get access to our entire archive dating back to 2007 and plenty of other awesome perks like the On Fire Mix Show, you get bonus mixes. Go to joindiamondk.com. That is joindiamondk.com. Many of you rich folks wish that the whole Epstein talk, the Jeffrey Epstein talk, y'all wish that would go away. Well, I got sad news for y'all. It has only just begun. It has only just begun. The newly unsealed court documents for Jeffrey Epstein's, a detective described the recruitment of dozens of girls for Epstein in some newly unsealed documents. The convicted pedophile who died in jail before he could face trial on the federal sex trafficking charges. These documents publicly released yesterday and Wednesday. So this is a second batch stemming from a December 18th court order from the judge overseeing the lawsuit and a response to media's legal efforts to publicly release these documents. Last night, more than 300 pages were released and several pages released the day before. The documents are part of a 2015 civil defamation suit brought by Virginia Roberts Guthrie, an American woman who claimed that Epstein sexually abused her as a minor and that Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's former girlfriend, aided in this abuse. Thursday's release follows hundreds of pages of documents that were unsealed on Wednesday, with more expected in the coming weeks. So I've been going through these documents and piecing things together. The documents in total, including material yet to be released, yet to be unsealed, are expected to include nearly 200 names. Some, including Epstein's accusers, are prominent business people, politicians, and potentially more. Being named in these unsealed documents does not necessarily mean someone was accused or committed some type of a crime. It doesn't mean that they did wrongdoing. But the documents range from technical legal arguments and exhibits to depositions, recounting allegations and descriptions of alleged crimes. So many of these have been previously known through other releases and interviews and such. One document, a deposition from a Palm Beach detective, Joseph Ricari, lays out the process he says that Epstein and Maxwell used to find and recruit girls to perform massages and work at Epstein's home. Ricari was the lead detective on a previous case against Epstein in the mid-2000s. So this is just unraveling. Another accuser whose name was redacted said in a 2016 deposition that when she was between the ages of 15 and 17, she was paid to give Jeffrey Epstein massages, even though she had no massage experience. The massage, she thought, didn't involve any sexual activity. That's what I was under the assumption of, but she said that assumption was wrong. She said that she was there and all of a sudden something horrible happened to her. She says of the experience with Epstein, adding it wasn't supposed to be sexual, but it was. So this is just continuing to be one of those just Hollywood. I would call it Hollywood, but it's just one of these just horror stories. You have a lot of folks with a lot of money that were involved with Epstein, We go over some of those names from the unsealed court documents that came out earlier this week. These are names of acquaintances and associates of Jeffrey Epstein. So there's former presidents, British royalty, all these kind of things. These documents were the first in more than 200 that are expected to be unsealed over the next few days, part of this lawsuit. Now, the Epstein case and the Maxwell case, she was sentenced to 20 years in prison. He's dead for recruiting young girls, sexually exploiting them. This criminal investigation into Epstein's acts. These are obviously before his death. The names of figures that were previously associated with Epstein, names like Prince Andrew, former presidents Donald Trump, Bill Clinton were mentioned in court documents, but there was little new information outside of what we already were aware of. Some of the documents had previously been released in other court cases, while Epstein's high-profile contacts have been covered extensively in the media. Not too many big surprises. For the most part, these documents say little about the actions taken by individuals outside of Epstein, though there is a 2016 deposition from another victim that mentions politicians and figureheads in the U.S. and abroad. There are celebrities like Bruce Willis, Cameron Diaz, Kevin Spacey, Naomi Campbell, Leonardo DiCaprio, who are mentioned in the records. I'm sure that they were not happy to be included in all of this. But as I said, mentioned in the record, but they have not been accused of actually helping Epstein in any capacity. Connections to Epstein previously led high-level executives to resign from their positions. That is how toxic he is. Even now, the Barclays chief executive Jess Staley, Jean-Luc Brunel, a French modeling agent suspected of scouting girls for Epstein, killed himself in a Paris jail last year while awaiting trial for rape allegations. So there's been a lot of backlash. The documents on Wednesday confirmed the scale of both Epstein's alleged sex trafficking ring and his powerful social network. Prince Andrew, the younger brother of King Charles III, was one of the names referenced in the documents, mentioned by a witness for touching her breast. This is Prince Andrew. Andrew was also previously accused of raping one of the victims when she was a teenager after a lawsuit filed by her in 2021. Amid the growing public pressure, Andrew was forced to relinquish his military titles and public duties, even as he repeatedly denied the allegation. They settled a lawsuit in 2022 after Andrew paid an undisclosed sum of money. So this is not going away. It is not over with. Many of these rich people are, worried about this. I don't know what's going to come of this. We are only seeing names that we recognize, and unless we see some allegations or something in these documents that are pointing to some of these other folks that are seemingly casual acquaintances of or were casual acquaintances of Epstein, I don't know if anybody is actually going down, if you will. I don't know. Of course, let us know your thoughts. Do you think that folks that are in these lists that are mentioned in these depositions, do they deserve to go down? Should they have to resign? At the Diamond K Show on all social media. djdiamondk@gmail.com. And don't forget, the best way to support what we do here at Radio on Fire is to become a member, which gives you access to the daily bonus show from yours truly, Diamond K, the regular show with no commercials. You also get access to our entire archive dating back to 2007 and plenty of other awesome perks like the On Fire Mix Show. You get bonus mixes. Head on over to joindiamondk.com. That is joindiamondk.com. I am here weekdays, 6 p.m. And, you know, with 2024 being here, we have so many things in store, so many things planned. We have a voicemail number. You can leave me a message. We check all the messages. 443-492-9442 is the voicemail number. You can leave that message. Sometimes we're going to play some of these messages on future shows. So definitely, you disagree with something I'm saying, you need to set me straight. Leave me a voicemail and we will check it out. And there's so much going on with regards to immigration in this country. New York City's mayor has sued 17 bus companies that transported migrants from Texas. He is seeking $70 million in this lawsuit. $70 million. It's very stunning and unexpected move by the Texas governor, Greg Abbott, which was shipping busloads of migrants to New York City. Mayor Eric Adams filed a suit against 17 charter bus companies used by the Lone Star State. He wants the bus companies to reimburse the city of New York for the hundreds of millions of dollars that it costs to shelter these migrants. So this is a mess. This is going to be a mess. I'm sure the Republicans are happy about this confusion. I am not excited about this, but it is what it is. A sad story here. A three-year-old boy dies after being hit by a stray bullet while he was celebrating New Year's Eve. Can you imagine that? Celebrating New Year's Eve. I often talk about the most dangerous times to go out, New Year's Eve and the 4th of July. This 3-year-old boy named Braden Smith died after being hit by a stray bullet on New Year's Eve. Braden was shot by this bullet that flew through his window while his family was celebrating New Year's Eve. They were in the house and this happened. Police believe that the bullet may have been one of a celebratory nature. Now, it is illegal in the city of Memphis for them to do this. Smith was taken to the hospital where he remained in critical condition for days before succumbing to his injuries. Smith is one of several children across the country who were hit by stray bullets on New Year's Eve. Braden was 3. He was a baby. And it is just a heartbreaking story with the loss of life. I'm really, really sad to hear that. Really sad to hear that. In Dunkin' Donuts in Florida, an exploding toilet at the Dunkin' store left a customer filthy and injured. And this customer is not taking this lying down. They have filed a negligence lawsuit against Dunkin', claiming that the gentleman was injured by an exploding toilet at one of the coffee chain's locations in Central Florida. That is, can you imagine you going in there for a donut, going in there for something sweet, and then boom, you have this happening. Definitely not laughing. It's just crazy. That's a crazy story there. Now, very sad news out of Oregon. At least 10 people dead after an Oregon ICU nurse allegedly replaced patients' fentanyl IVs with non-sterile tap water. The nurse was reportedly stealing the medication. So that's what's going on now. The nurse was stealing this medication. This is just terrible. So police in Oregon are currently investigating multiple deaths at a local hospital after it was discovered that these patients died as a result of this fentanyl being replaced with non-sterile tap water. So I don't understand what she was thinking. Officials at the Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center in Oregon say that they have informed police about that former employee that they believe was stealing medication from the hospital. They suspect that the misuse of the medication led to at least 10 deaths. The nurse was reportedly switching out the fentanyl IVs on the patients in the ICU and replacing them with tap water, which investigators believe started all the way back in November of 2022. So the families of two of the deceased patients, Samuel Allison, who died in November of 2022, and Barry Samstern, who died in July of 2023, were both informed that their loved one had died from infections stemming from their medication being replaced by tap water. The hospital believes that the nurse's malpractice resulted in their deaths, but they are not confirming anything until the investigation has concluded. So that is a crazy situation. As of right now, no arrest has been made in connection with these deaths. The investigation continues. Law enforcement has also informed any of the families that have lost loved ones due to this negligence of the hospital, this egregious malpractice, for them to get in touch. Now, I'm definitely praying for families of these patients affected by this senseless malpractice. Of course, at the Diamond K Show on all social media, you can get in touch with me. Very, very easy. Not hard to get in touch with, and I would love to hear from you. So at the Diamond K Show, of course, djdiamondk@gmail.com. I will get back in touch with you. See you guys on Monday.